My name is Dr. Dan Andreae, and I'm teaching at Renison College. Been here for 12 years. I teach part-time, and I love it.
This is my second time having him as a professor. I had him about 2 years ago, and he is a fantastic professor.
When I teach, they learn from me, of course, as the prof, but I learn from them, and they learn from each other. And so my style is to get them interacting in class and become critical thinkers, but they do that by sharing themselves. And one thing I've found about students is that when they come in to see us, come into class, we see one slice of their life. We see them as students sitting there, they're playing that role as student, and I'm the prof in that role. But we all come in so multidimensionally. We all come in with so many parts of our lives that sit behind that desk. And so it's trying to approach that part of them too as well, and getting them to share who they are.
He cares so much about his students, and you can tell when he is marking your papers and when he's helping you with assignments and through his lectures.
Create an atmosphere in the class, I think, that is, first of all, a safe atmosphere. So people feel they're comfortable. Now, they won't do it the first class or the second class, whatever. It's a bit of a trust issue, but it develops over time. And then I will simply ask them. I'll bring up a concept, we'll talk about a model and a theory, and then I might say to somebody in the front row, what do you think of that? Are there any limitations of that? Any good things about that you agree with? And somebody might feel on the spot at first, but somebody will talk, and then somebody else's hand will go up. And so it's really just recognizing they have something to contribute, that they have gifts to give us back. And so to try to tap into that. It doesn't happen with every class all the time to the same degree, but if you create that atmosphere, realize they're human beings with needs and ideas, and they're just really, I say desperate to share these, to be taken seriously, and I try to achieve that in my classes.
His teaching is more like discussion and relationship.
It's that interpersonal connection, which is really key, and professors who can do that, who can really make that connection with students. It's not rocket science, okay? You need to have the knowledge. The knowledge is necessary, but it's not sufficient.
He's a real good relator.
I think that's really the quintessential element of a good professor, is to be able to make that human connection with students. It really boils down to that.
Online's a little bit different than here, but online you got the headphones on and you're hearing them speak, but he still had a lot of enthusiasm come across even through that means.
That's a key thing, is to have a passion. And students know the difference as well. Believe me, they'll tell me, they'll go to some classes where the passion may be less than optimal, but the professor gives across an energy which the class picks up to a certain extent, and then builds on that. And then we feed off each other that way as well. And also with students to respect them. And sometimes a student in a first year or second year class will give their opinion, but it won't be a fully baked opinion. But it's important for the prof to support those parts of what the student says that are important to them, and that don't undermine them in any way, to build on their strengths. We all have strengths, and it's tapping into that, to tap into their gifts.
Personal connection and actually bringing in what's actually happening in his life, his ability to create that immediate connection. It's not theoretical, it's not research that was done 5 years ago, it's actual, this is what I'm doing today.
Be open to experience, above all. Take the blinkers off, be prepared to look at other ideas, look at our own assumptions. We all assume things and we act upon these assumptions, and very often our assumptions aren't correct. So be open to ideas, be open to different perspectives, be open to yourself, okay? Because ultimately in that classroom, there's much more below the neck.
No PowerPoints, occasional handouts, but usually he just talks to us and he gets us involved, and he makes sure that we all understand different things.
Students are often, they're intimidated, okay, by a professor. And there is that fine line, but it's getting them to see that you're a person too, and that you're there to help them and build them up. And so instilling confidence in students is absolutely key, so that they feel empowered, to use an overused word, but that when you see that smile on their face, or you see them getting a concept, and they've really grasped it, and they have, it's not just them sort of Pavlovianly saying, I got it, then that's what it's all about. And then they use that confidence in other areas too as well of their lives. It generalizes out too as well. And so if you can plant that seed in some students some of the time, then you've achieved more than most people ever do.
He gets to us on a personal level.
You have to follow your passion. That's another thing too as well. I tell my students that follow what really seems right to you. What is integral to what makes you tick.
He's just fantastic. I recommend him to everybody. Everyone who's thinking about choosing a prof, I say to pick him for sure.
Real learning is when the head meets the heart. Okay? When people go, aha, now I see it, now I can use it, now I can understand it. So theories are important. We need them, and they guide us. And they're competing theories, and they're exciting to look at. But it doesn't really resonate until somebody can actually say, aha, now I can apply this. The light goes on. And that's probably my motto. Open to experience, and when the head meets the heart, that's when real learning takes place.